Africa has to eliminate the racial hatred and offer guarantees.
February 1990, Soweto Football Stadium. 2 days after his release from prison, Nelson Mandela proclaimed a new South Africa. Plot for Peace, recently screened at the Hamptons Film Festival in New York, tells the story of one man among the crowd who was instrumental in making this day happen, Jean-Yves Ollivier, a French businessman and self-proclaimed parallel diplomat. Euronews met him at the film festival in New York. Of course, for me it was an extraordinary moment to see this icon, Mandela, dragged along by his wife, Winnie Mandela, whom I knew very well. And he gave this speech that lived up to what I had expected, but more importantly, it convinced me that what I had done was right, to fight so that this man could be freed from jail. The movie tells how Ollivier worked to build trust among African leaders.
He never said one word about his contribution.
A businessman who worked in Africa for many years, Ollivier spent decades in mediation and peace-talking missions that he himself describes as parallel diplomacy, a concept based on personal and trust-based relations. He brought warring parties together in various conflicts, including in Angola, Namibia and, of course, South Africa.
What he was looking for, I'm not sure, because he never asked me money.
I realized that if we didn't try to get the two sides to agree, there would be a bloodbath. It was clear to me that the black community was going to win. They outnumbered the other side and their cause was just. But I didn't want this victory, which they were sure to get, to mean death for the other community. In Plot for Peace, directors Carlos AGULLÓ and Mandy Jacobson tell us the true story of this enigmatic man who succeeded in gaining the trust of diplomats and leaders, a story narrated by Ollivier himself.
Les cartes se sont parfaitement alignées. La partie est finie. Mandela
was a necessity for humankind. It was the first time in the history of humanity that all men, institutions, corporations and associations, everyone joined around a common cause.
Tous les individus ont trouvé une cause commune.
Apart from a few white people in South Africa, this was the first time in history there was unanimous consensus around one man. It was amazing. Mandela first met Ollivier several days after the Soweto Stadium speech. In 1995, the new president rewarded him with the country's highest civil distinction, Grand Officer of the Order of Good Hope.
Une histoire qui est en fait la somme de beaucoup de petites histoires.
I have only one regret, that the movie wasn't made a few years earlier. If it had been made earlier, we could have had Mandela. I'm sure he would have agreed to be a part of it. Based on a screenplay by former Le Monde Africa editor Stephen W. Smith, the film is more of a narrative thriller than a traditional documentary. Plot for Peace premiered in the UK this summer and is expected to be released next year.